Man, I tell you, I really tell you, I really, really tell you, man. So, I just listened to a podcast called the NBA Podcast. Um, I also listened to on YouTube, or watch rather, the Woj Zach Lowe free agency thing that they do every year, and they talk specifically about Lonzo. I don't know where to begin. Let's start here, because this one is a little less important to me, but it's still important. So, Woj and Zach Lowe basically talked about Zoe and the Pelicans and said the growing likelihood is that he won't be back, or the expectation is that he won't be back. He's not a part of their future. And he was saying, or Woj specifically was saying, Chicago in a perfect world would land Lonzo. Also detailed that there's some obstacles that could be in the way of that. Obviously, he's a restricted free agent, so the Pelicans could match. Um, and cap space and all that, yada, yada, yada. Also mentioned that the Pelicans were suitors in Kyle Lowry and that they were looking to attach Bledsoe to the 10 pick to get off the pick and get off that money and move down in the draft, but free up cap space so that they could go balls to the wall for Kyle Lowry. Also mentioned Chicago is likely to also try to move off of Saturansky at some point, probably. And, well, that wasn't what was said. What was said was Saturansky is going to have a lot of suitors, which makes sense. Veteran teams are going to look for a guy like him to come in, be a backup point guard off the bench. Um, Along with that, mentioned Derrick Rose, if he becomes available, could potentially come back to Chicago. So that's something to be on the lookout for. And so let me just say this. I've made a couple videos talking about this already, but let me make sure I make this crystal clear. Always keep in the back of your mind, the Pelicans could just say fuck it and just be petty and sign him and then trade him wherever the fuck they want because they can match anything. Okay? Keep that in mind. But here's what I want you guys to crystallize real quick in your head. CP3 has set a precedent for a lot of teams. Veteran point guard, all-star level, um, can come into a younger team and basically groom and grow those guys and push them to new heights. A lot of teams are sniffing Kyle Lowry's nuts right now. Here's the thing: Pelicans don't have a cap space in this moment, which is why they need to make the Bledsoe trade or the Steven Adams, because they said either one, it doesn't matter, but one of those guys they got to get up off of to help with the cap space. And that's something to keep in mind because they need that cap space because Kyle Lowry, which was also stated in this, is supposed to command like 25 to 30 million on the market. He's going to be an expensive get. Expensive get. I told you guys a while ago that the Pelicans pretty much it was still when the finals was going on. I think it was like the first week of the finals, like the first game or two. I said the Pelicans needed to already know what they were gonna do with Lonzo. Looks like they do. They their goal is to either just straight up let him walk or try to get a sign and trade. But the thing is, their main target is Kyle Lowry. Here's what I think. Hearing all the stuff I've heard recently. Here's the tier list. Kyle Lowry, somebody else like Spencer Dinwiddie. I think Spencer's going to be high on the list immediately after um, CP3, possible Ben Simmons trade, uh, Kyle Lowry land. I think he's going to be the next one to fall. He could surprise me and be one of the first ones to fall. There could be some team that's like, look, we'll take you right now. But the point of me saying this is the Pelicans have to make a decision or a tier list because here's what's got to happen. They got to understand that Chicago is not going to wait. They're going to put pressure on them immediately. They have to know who and what they're going after because here's the thing. If you decide to say fuck it and let Lonzo walk, you get nothing back from him. Which means if you don't get Kyle Lowry or Spencer Dinwiddie or whoever you put in this category, CP3, Derrick Rose, whoever, if you don't get your guys, you are fucked. You are fucked. You are fucked. You can, because here's the thing. Chicago, I think first day, Lonzo 21, 22 million. Now, here's the other part to this too. I don't know if you are allowed to make an offer and if they match it, you can't make another one, or if you can keep doing it. If they can, I try for 20. If the Pels don't match it. But if you can only do it one time, hey, you might do 22 and a half, 23, and just say fuck it. You might have to overpay for Zoe, but you're hoping that he will continue to improve and eventually that 23 million will be underpaying him for what his value is. But if the Pelicans do not have a plan, and I mean like they can't just have a plan A, plan B, they have to have like a plan I here. They're going to fuck themselves. If I'm Chicago, day one, as soon, I don't know if it's at 6 p.m. or if it's at midnight, whatever. Hey, Zoe, we'd like to offer you 22.5 million a year. Put them, because they got 48 hours. Put them on the clock. They got, now that gives Pelicans a day or two to kind of, okay, see what they want to do. And it gives them time to try to work out something. But let's go back real quick, because I know I'm jumping. The reason I said that Bledsoe thing is important, or that Steven Adams thing is important, is because of this. If you want to sign Zoe, now I think they can go over the cap. But I think they want to get under the cap so they don't have to go over the cap and they have the money for Lowry. But here's the other part to that. Any event that you can't or don't think you're going to get Kyle Lowry or somebody else, you still need to be able to keep Zoe. So you're going to need to maximize all 48 hours, which means you need to have that money available immediately. So if need be, you can do what you got to do. Although they said they won't match a significant offer sheet and he's not a part of their long-term dealings. If Chicago's willing to overpay, they're probably just going to have to say fuck it and take their L. But they're going to want that money available regardless of if it's Lowry, Dinwiddie, somebody else, or if the worst case for them is, okay, we got to keep Lonzo for now. They need to have the money available, which is why them trying to get off Bledsoe and Adams or either or is important because it clears up a lot of money for them to make moves. Not just for Lowry or any of the other point guards, but for the rest of the roster. That's important. That's got to be something they already have done now. You know, there's talks that they may be trading down, you know, that pick to 17, swapping with Memphis. They may have to take somebody else back, you know, maybe a cheaper player like a Grayson Allen or somebody. I don't know how the trade stuff work and the money shit. Don't ask me. But they might have to take something back on a cheap, like a much cheaper amount. But if they do, they still save money, which gives them more to be able to get Kyle Lowry. That's number one. Here's the one I really want to talk about. Shout outs to the KOP, the cop, or the cope. I don't know how you say it. Guy always does. He's a great follow on Twitter, by the way. The KOP, THEKOP. Uh, Great follow if you're a fan of Lonzo. Guy posts or retweets a podcast called the NBA Pod. And I don't remember the guys' names involved. And they had a special guest, somebody who wrote an article the other day from Bleacher Report. Around the 43-minute mark, they start talking about Griff. Brace yourselves for this, people. Go ahead and have a seat. If you drink, go ahead and get your beverage. Sit tight. We need to talk about something here. Apparently, Griff would go into the locker room at half times and he would tell the team what they need to do. Like, this is what you guys need to be doing when you go back out on the court. Like a coach. He would be sitting there undermining Stan Van Gundy and telling the players and the team what they need to be doing and how they need to play when they go back out. Not like, okay, you guys need to play better, but like, okay, you know, this is what you need to be doing and this is what you need to be doing. First of all, let me say this. If you want to know or listen to it, it's like I said, it's the 43-minute mark. I retweeted it. You can go look on my Twitter page, the Black J Strokes. It's on there. It's on there. Man, look. And I mean, they touched on other things like Zion and why he didn't go to, you know, the playoff game and all that other shit, and the Pelicans in general, how they feel about Lonzo, that whole thing. Some of the same stuff that was covered in the Zach Woj stuff. I'm not getting into that. Look, man, we already knew it was bad under Griff. We didn't know it was this bad. We did not know during the season that this nigga was going inside the locker room, you know, chastising and telling motherfuckers what they need to be doing. Now, his this bitch nigga. I'm sorry, y'all. He's a bitch. I can't stand this motherfucker, man. I cannot stand this motherfucker. You know, I can't stand this bitch ass nigga. Look, bro. If you're a Pelicans fan, obviously when Lonzo go, I'm going. So y'all won't get any more Pelican content from me unless we play the Pelicans. I might talk some shit occasionally, but you won't get, like, all my shit has been basically Pelicans this year. Let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all will be a dumpster fire till this dude is out. You will be a dumpster fire till he's out. But this got to make you think. Willie Green accepted this job knowing all of this was going down. Jack Vaughn took his ball and went home and said, fuck you. I will not. I refuse. Willie Green said, okay, I'll do the job. I'm not going to make this a race thing about how black men, you know, accept certain positions and stuff. I'm not going to take this angle. But what kind of... Look here, man. And I'm indifferent on Willie Green. I really don't know too much about him. I don't really care. This guy accepted this job knowing he was going to have to be Griff's bitch. I've heard great things about Willie Green. You know, through reports, other players have spoken about how great a guy he is and stuff. He accepted this job knowing that Griff was going to be doing all this other micromanaging. I can't say I'm happy about the Pelicans' future. Even if Lonzo stayed, even if you could guarantee that Zion would play this rest of this contract and his next. Now, all this stuff does not mean that Stan took this man's advice, because I don't think he did. I think he just said, fuck it. Fuck you, I'm the coach, I'm gonna do my own thing, which is why they parted ways. But you're bringing in Willie Green to basically do your bidding. Yes, you will play these guys. Yes, you will get these guys ready because I drafted them and I believe in them. I'm so glad I'm not going to be a Pelicans fan in a couple weeks, bro. Cause at this point it's pretty much. Y'all remember when I told y'all I read the body language of Bi and Zion, and basically I could tell that it looked like they had packed it in on Zoe being there. Them niggas talk. Them niggas talk. They talk, man. They know, like, there's no way Griff was coming into that locker room and them dudes went like, fuck this nigga, or fuck this shit. See, everything happens for a reason. We got that report about Zion's family for a reason. All this shit starting to add up. I can bet money they do not like Griff. I can bet you money they don't fuck with Griff like that. But if you're Kira and all, you got to be happy and overjoyed that you got a front office guy, a GM that believes in you like Griff does. Because you could do no wrong with him. But Lonzo, Bi wants to play with him, and Zion wants to play with him. By the way, that podcast mentioned how New Orleans seems to view Lonzo as a playmaking wing instead of a point guard. And he said that's kind of how the front office view him. Lonzo's body language at the end of season spiel told me everything I needed to know. All this coming out is telling me I was right. I was absolutely right. 1000% right. And so that means Lonzo's choice of teams. I'm pretty sure. Can we all agree Lonzo's a smart guy? He's not stupid. I think we can all agree that Lonzo probably just said, hey, Rich, look, I need to go to a team that is not going to try to make me this shit that I was in New Orleans this year. I want to play point guard, and I want to go to a team that wants me to play point guard. And I don't want to lose, and I want to go to a team that's looking to win. I want a team that's got someone else that I can play with, and a good coach, and stability, and a decent track record. I know Chicago don't necessarily fit that last bill because that coach they had last year sucked. But the front office is, for the most part, competent. Go ahead and get ready, folks. Lonzo's going to Chicago. Whether it's sign and trade or if it's just free agent signing. Because there's no way he is coming back to this shit unless they decide to be a dick or an asshole and just say, hey, we can't get anybody, so we're just going to sign you anyway. And we'll trade you whenever we fucking feel like it. So, good luck. To all my Pelicans fans and friends that I've met, it has been real. I fuck with y'all, but fuck some of the blog boys and shit and beat writers. Not all of them, but some of them. But that nigga gone. That brother gone. He gone. He ain't coming back. He hitting the road, Jack. And Here's another thing. Let me add this because I forgot. The hold up between Lonzo being in Chicago already this season, because it was going to be Lonzo for Laurie and a pick. Griff wanted more. Griff wanted like 2 or 3 picks. First, you think this nigga's a playmaking wing, but you want to try to get 2 to 3 picks and a player for someone you not high on yourself. Hmm. 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 Only reason Lonzo is not in Chicago is because Griff's a bona fide bitch. Y'all have a good night. Peace.